What I hear from the CEOs that I'm working with today is that there's 3 sources of strategic advantage for them in their industries, and often operating on very slim margins. One source of advantage is engagement of the talent and capacity of every person at every level. The second is magnifying the speed for innovation. And the third is creating a magnetic setting for the attraction of the best talent. What Appreciative Inquiry does is it helps CEOs address every one of those agendas.
CEOs want to get to the value much faster, and when they're dealing with large-scale transformations, they do not have the patience to wait a number of years to get to where they want to go. And we believe that Appreciative Inquiry, and what we call e-positive change, is the right accelerator, the right enabler for the kinds of transformations that our clients are currently experiencing.
It can be a merger, it can be adaptive IT, where they're changing how they structure and how they apply their IT systems in an organization. It can be an ERP engagement. I mean, it can even be a cost reduction engagement where they want to use positive techniques when they go through the transformation.
One way to begin to understand Appreciative Inquiry is that it really does ask us to go beyond the deficit-based habits of management that we've grown up with. We've got an idea that the best way to engender change is to create a burning platform or to begin to analyze what's broken, what's wrong, and so on. What happened in our work is we started saying, wait a second, that's one set of assumptions, but maybe there are others. And we started saying that organizations aren't problems to be solved, they're solutions to be embraced.
Organizations, people, relationships, teams move in the direction of what they study. We move in the direction of what we think about, what we ask questions about, and what we study. So if we study the problems, we'll become wizards of problems, experts in problems.
If I think back about using the more traditional approach to change and transformation, particularly in the information technology space, I would go into an organization and look for things that were wrong. What do we have to fix?
With Appreciative Inquiry, we don't ask what's the problem. We ask what do you want more of in your organization.
When you go into someone and you say, tell me about the time that you did something the best you ever have, or that you were the most successful, all of a sudden their eyes light up. They're proud about what they're talking about, and it motivates them.
So we engage customers, suppliers, community members, union leadership, as well as employees from the workforce and management. So we get everybody involved in looking at what's possible in the organization.
The more we began to search and listen carefully to the stories of the true, the good, the better, the possible, we found that the system began to move in that particular direction with a tremendous amount of energy.
You've got to find ways to keep the hearts and the minds of people engaged. And you've got to find ways to keep them thinking about the future while they're doing today's work. The feelings, the morale, the affect of the organization, and the bottom line business results are intimately intertwined.
We're helping to create an inquiry process that is not just patting ourselves on the back, but a process that looks rigorously and systematically at the root causes of those successes and innovations. People's imaginations, their creativity, and their confidence to produce and implement change begins to soar.
Douglas before was definitely a top-down, traditional, top-down managed company. We grew significantly. We were growing about 20-25% annually. And we were getting too large, and we made a decision to split into business units around product lines with the same number of resources. So we were kind of stretching people to the limit. But we were still trying to run things in a top-down manner. Intellectually, we said, no, we need employees to step up to the plate and own their product and get engaged in what they were doing, but we weren't being real successful at doing that.
So what they were interested in was building bench strength, building leadership, building a collective sense of vision for what's next, and building communication across the seeming silos in the organization. What's different about Appreciative Inquiry is that the data collection and synthesis process happens
with real people. As opposed to carrying it offline and letting a consultant work through all of that and capture all of the high-level themes and tell the organization what it already knew about itself. You have real people going through real data, making real meaning that is of meaning to them in their jobs today.
The light bulb for appreciative inquiry for me went on when I started doing interviews with some of the people on our team that was involved in the introduction of our new computer software system into our company, and seeing that they had really valuable lessons learned, thoughts, visions of how we could really take on this project and make it a huge success within the company. Rather than a dictated success, it was a participatory kind of process.
People got on board in ways they would not have been able to do before that. And they were then able to change the information system, to change business processes that were significant, to begin to redefine their relationships with some of their key customers or other divisions of the company.
You pick a day when you've had a good day. Maybe during the week you were going along with a low yield rate, but all of a sudden on Thursday you hit up to, say, 90%. You'd stop and analyze that and say, what did we do today? And how can we do more of that so that tomorrow we can be at 92 or 93% and not beat on the 70% to say what were the problems that caused that?
We have significantly increased our yield and productivity off our mainstay product, if you will, which we thought had maxed out at about probably an 84-85% yield factor. It's in the high 90s. We didn't think that was mathematically possible. How'd that happen? AI gave them the tools to put these action teams together to envision what it would take just to continuously improve what they're doing. They don't give up. That's a bottom line number. And for us, each 1% point improvement in yields is $1 million on the bottom line.
We realized a 15 to 20% improvement in the bottom line, in part because of the speed with which the organization became capable of implementing major changes. In the process, turnover went down, employee satisfaction went up, productivity increased, operations improvement suggestions were up by 100%. I mean, statistic after statistic showed that there were bottom line results that happened, but I believe it happened as a result of people finding what mattered to them and becoming really engaged in the business.
Roadway is a national, what we would call less than truckload carrier. We have over 500,000 customers that we deal with on a regular basis, 50,000 shipments a day. We have 29,000 employees situated in about 395 facilities around the country.
Roadway was interested in appreciative inquiry to support a more strategic leadership initiative. We were looking for an approach to make that happen, something beyond the very traditional problem solving might have gotten us some incremental improvement. We were looking for some breakthrough improvement that would really differentiate us in the marketplace, and that's what I think appreciative inquiry brings to the table.
We have a vision at Roadway that says we want everyone to be engaged in the success of the company and committed to the success of each other. So as we learned more about appreciative inquiry, we could see that this was truly a vehicle that would enable us to get people engaged. You know, for as much as we talk about wanting to have positive relationships in everything that we do, yet we seem to focus on negative experiences. And as David Cooperrider explained to us, set those aside and let's change the dialogue.
You step back and think about 150 Teamsters, dockworkers, drivers, frontline supervisors, managers sitting at tables with our vice presidents, our president of the company. Now you've got the ambassadors, the change agents right there who co-created the future.
Let's remember, all this has to be tied back to the bottom line. Meaningful results for the company.
What was really amazing was how they were so focused on tangible outcomes. You know, there was a lot of common ground. Everybody wanted this to be more than an HR activity where everybody left feeling good.
They crafted a statement that said, we're going to crush our competition in the marketplace. We're going to have world-class service. We're going to have throughput in this organization like we've never imagined. They really reached out and got into the dream phase of appreciative inquiry to say, let's think about how this could be 5 years from now. They said this is how it could be in 5 years, but we want it now.
So now you have teams of labor employees and management employees, engineering experts, working together to come up with the best possible dock layout to allow us to be the most efficient and achieve the kind of throughput, which is like the internal speed of our operation. To have labor and management coming together to create this win-win scheduling process hadn't really been done before.
To take the collective wisdom of this entire group and say, let's talk about when we have performed well. Let's talk about the desired state of affairs that we want here. And let's break down all the old issues and let's not deal on anything negative or the problems that we've had in the past. Let's go forward. Let's go into the future. Let's dream where we want to be.
The value that CGEY brings to the E-Positive Change approach is the breadth of employees that we have, the professional consultants that have been trained in E-Positive Change and have been using it with our clients.
I want our clients to know that it's not just about that particular project or transformation, that the way you go about change is affecting their organization pervasively. It's affecting their organization outside of that transformation. It's affecting their culture.
Every form of organization has its predominant way of doing inquiry and analysis. And what I see at CGE&Y is they are the leader in the capacity of bringing together positive change with new technologies and the opportunities that that presents for new organizations of the future.
E-Positive Change is fundamental to an adaptive IT transformation because we're talking about changing the way information technologists do their business and think about their business. So when we talk about adaptive IT, we're talking about continuous evolution and change, agility, and in fact disrupting the current environment to create a new and better model.
We have an alliance with the Corporation of Positive Change because they are the organization that has really brought appreciative inquiry to the forefront of the change management revolution, I will call it.
We want more people to know about it. We want this approach to be made available. And when we met the folks from Capgemini, Ernst & Young, we said, this is it. They are strategically positioned around the world. They have got a staff of consultants who are doing amazing work, and if E-Positive Change, Appreciative Inquiry can help their clients, then we want to be part of working with them.